Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karuvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyayevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Let's have some time for sadhana, our japa. Recite with me. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. This will be for about 10 minutes, 9 minutes. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. We left off halfway through chapter 18, chapter titled Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. It is the largest chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, which is why it's been broken up. It's taken us several weeks. I hope to, and I have planned to finish off the chapter this week. So let's get right to it. We were going over happiness. Text 37. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. Text 38. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of rajas. Text 39. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of tama guna. Text 40. There is no being, either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. That is a very, very powerful statement. No being is free from the three modes of material nature. That's in terms of the bodily impulses, right? The nature of this material body is comprising of the three modes of material nature. So this very body has impulses, has inclinations, right? That the particular body I have, it likes pineapple. The body, this material body, because of a mixture of the three modes of material nature, will always like pineapple rather than bananas. Hate bananas, can't stand bananas. So this material body hates bananas, loves pineapple. That is completely under the modes of material nature. This body will always go for pineapple rather than bananas. Now, it doesn't mean that if I don't get a pineapple, I should destroy the world, right? There must be self-control, there must be self-mastery, that if I don't get what I want, someone brings me a banana cream pie rather than a pineapple coconut cake, then I go crazy and I destroy the world. No, there must be self-restraint, there must be self-mastery. But the body itself is under the modes of material nature and will always crave, because of its various blend of the modes of material nature, it will crave pineapple instead of banana. No living creature who has a material body that includes the demigods is free from the impulses of the modes of material nature. Text 42. Krishna says, peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. Krishna is talking about the qualities of a person's work. And right now he's going through the four Varnas. First Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And he's describing their qualities. A few weeks ago, I got a call from I call her my little sister. When I was serving in the Boston Temple as president there, she was going to school at Harvard, I think. And she was staying part-time in the temple, doing Mandir Seva and so on. So I was able to we all develop a relationship with her to try to take care of her, make sure she was well situated. So she became like the little sister of the temple devotees. So she, even to this day, I mean, this was, 10 years ago. Even today, she texts me every once in a while. So she called me up 2 weeks ago, and she's doing well financially. She's doing well. She's got her PhD. She's doing well materially. She's in India, but she's trying to get married. And every 6 months or so, she'll text me or she'll call me and tell me how it's going, ask me to give some prayers. And if there's anyone that I may know who may be interested in marriage, her father, her parents will contact me as well. So this has been ongoing for years, almost a decade. I got a call a few weeks ago, and apparently there was a family that was interested. They were going through the process of, it's an arranged marriage, so the families were getting together, they were doing charts and things like that. And the boy was very interested, and it came out, the family asked um, her family, where they say, we are Brahmins, the boy's family, we are Brahmins. What is your caste? So her caste, her family's caste is not Brahmin. So everything blew up. And it didn't work out. But a few days later, the son calls my little sister and says, well, yes, we cannot get married because I'm Brahmin and you're not. So the marriage is off, but just wanted to know if perhaps we can have just a relationship just like that. And when my little sister was telling me this, I became furious. She was very upset herself. That's why she had called me, because she was so upset over it. She called me a few days after he had said this. And so she's relaying the story to me, and she's saying, what do you mean relationship? We're not going to get married. What do you mean? There's nothing. What do you mean? And he says, oh, boyfriend, girlfriend, like this. And I'm so happy her response was this, because it certainly would have been my response. She says, you saying you're from a Brahmin family and you just want to have a relationship like this with no respect of the person or family? What kind of Brahmin are you? And of course, she's been educated in Vaishnav temples and mandirs, so she knows the Bhagavad Gita, right? Krishna is saying here, peacefulness, self-control, right? Austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, dharma. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmins work. So sometimes individuals may claim Brahminhood, but very question is very simple. Are they acting as Brahmins? Per the instructions of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, we can see this particular individual just claiming to be Brahmin, but acting far worse than the Brahmin, right? Like Ashvatthama, claiming to be Brahmin, but being and acting in the most heinous ways possible. Anyways, text 43. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. Text 44. Farming, cow protection, and business are the natural work for the Vaishyas. And for the Shudras, there are labor and service to others. Text 45. By following your qualities of work, every person can become perfect. Now, please hear from me how this can be done. This is a very important section of verses coming up. By following the qualities of your work, you can become perfect. Krishna says, now hear how this can be done. Text 46. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, one can attain perfection through performing svadharma, through performing one's own work. Text 47. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, swadharma, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties or dharma prescribed according to one's nature, swadharma, are never affected by sinful reactions. This is a very powerful verse. It is so powerful that actually this is the second time Krishna said this verse, and he said it verbatim, word for word. The first time he said it was in chapter 3, text 37, 38. Go to chapter 3, text 37, 38, the exact same verse. Let me pull up the Sanskrit. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharamat svanushtitat. That's what Krishna is saying here, 18th chapter. In the third chapter, 3 text 36, Krishna says, Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharamat svanushtitat. The first two lines are verbatim, the exact same line. Do not do your duty, or your duty, even if it's imperfect. Do it anyways. rather than performing someone else's duty and doing their duty perfectly. Very, very important. And Krishna says, by doing so, what happens? Krishna says, one may never, what does he say? Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. There's a reason for this. I don't want to spend too much on this particular point because I do want to finish the chapter today. But this is a very, very important point because Krishna talks about Swadharma in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita and in the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Swadharma means your prescribed, not prescribed, your natural inclination, the vocation, your natural inclination, the natural duty, the natural activities that come to you, born of your own nature, from the three modes of material nature, that you come into this world with. That's your Swadharma. Krishna says, do that. Do it even if it's so troublesome, so difficult that you want to do something else. Krishna says, no, perform your duty. Let me give an example of how this may be. There was a great saint in 14th century India. His name was Kulavecha Sridhar. He was very poor. He would sell banana leaves, hence the name Kulavecha. He would sell banana leaves. He was not very rich. He sold just enough to maintain his family life and to do puja to the Ganga. That was all he was able to do with what he was making. And people would say, Kola Vecha, my dear Sridhar, his name was Sridhar, why don't you engage in some other activity? Why are you still stuck on trying to make a living solely by selling banana leaves? There's so many other occupations you can do. And essentially, his response to such individuals were, no, this is the occupation that I have. It provides enough for my family and enough for me to do my puja to the Ganga. I do not need anything else. So from an external view, his selling banana leaves looked like a failed occupation because he could barely get by and could just have a leftover just enough to do a little bit of puja. He was not going to get a mansion. He was not going to be able to buy a palanquin to ride on. He was not going to buy very expensive clothes. So one could say that his occupation was very meager. His occupation was full of or had no future. But the realization that Sridhar has is one of Swadharma. I'm supposed to take care of my family. I have done so. And my guru has given me the responsibility of doing Ganga Puja, and I am doing so. I am doing so in a manner, in a way, with an occupation that allows me to do so. I do not have to travel along, I don't have a long commute. I do not have to fight and stress out with bosses. This is a perfect occupation for me to take care of my family and do my duty to the Ganga. That's Swadharma. So when Krishna says, Arjuna, even if your Swadharma looks like you're selling banana trees, do it anyway. Because doing that, through that Swadharma, you will achieve perfection. There's a very important reason why this is so. We come into this world with a very particular inclination, a very particular set of karmic reactions. We come into this world in this human body to expend, to get rid of certain particular karma, right? Because moksha, liberation, means being free of karma. That is liberation from this wheel of samsara, birth, death, disease, and old age. Just coming back again and again, taking body after body in samsara. To become free of samsara means free of karma. We have this body because there is karma to be expended. So the wheel of samsara, just like they say, the wheel of justice or the arc of justice. No, the arc of the universe bends towards justice. Well, the wheel of samsara turns and pushes us towards moksha. So we come into this body, this human body. This human body was specifically designed to engage in particular activities in order to expend, to get rid of that particular type of karma. I came into this body with the ability to do, not to become a engineer, basketball player, athlete, the World Cup, soccer player, thoroughly enjoy soccer. So I was not given the body to become Messi, to become the world's greatest football player. That is not the body that was given to me, because I do not have to expend that type of karma. That was not part of my desires in a previous life. Therefore, I do not have to come into this life to get rid of, to expend that karma in order to move towards moksha. I have other karma to expend, right? I have desires for teaching. So I've come into this world to teach. I've been given the possibility, the ability, the inclination, the desire to share, to teach. In this day and age, teachers make no money whatsoever. So it looks like it's an imperfect occupation. If you want to make money, don't become a teacher. You want to make money, certainly don't become a teacher of the Bhagavad Gita. You want to make money, don't become a teacher. But no, this is my swadharma. So I do it anyway, even though it doesn't provide the millions upon millions of dollars. So it looks like it is a faulty occupation. Doesn't bring perfection. Perfection meaning perfection in terms of beautiful house, material perfection, all of the accoutrements of material life. It doesn't bring that, my swadharma. Krishna says, do it anyway. Because you came into this world with that inclination, you came into this world with that proclivity, do it anyway. And then what does Krishna say? Do it for me. You become free from karma. That karma is expended, and then moksha is attained. But if I were not to be a teacher of the Bhagavad Gita, and I went into becoming an engineer, I had an interest in chemistry when I was growing up. I became a chemical engineer, right? Working for Monsanto. What kind of karma would I be accruing? Now I'm creating karma, because that is not my swadharma. The purpose of swadharma is to expend karma. Therefore, we should not give up our swadharma. That's why Krishna says it twice, in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita and again at the end. Very important point. Krishna says, Arjuna, whatever you do not walk away from your swadharma. Because the purpose of your swadharma is to expend karma. The more karma you expend, the closer we get towards moksha. Let's carry on. By following one's quality of work, every person can become perfect. Now, please hear from me how this can be done. Text 46. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all-pervading, a person can attain perfection through performing their swadharma. Text 47. This is what we're talking about. It is better to engage in one's own swadharma, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation, another swadharma, and perform that perfectly. Swadharma, according to one's own nature, are never affected by sinful reactions. In other words, when we engage in our swadharma, the sinful reactions are expended. That is the purpose. That is the purpose of swadharma. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, whether it's your swadharma or not, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up their swadharma, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. Krishna says, even if your swadharma is full of fault, you make no money, do not give it up. Text 49. One who is self-controlled and unattached, and who disregards all material enjoyments, can obtain, by practice of renunciation, the highest perfect stage, freedom from reaction. Text 50. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. Verses 51, 52, and 53. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up the objects of sense gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred, who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind, and power of speech, who is always in trance, who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization, because we're not distracted by everything other than the self. Atman. All that whole list of things that Krishna put, an entire list, are all things other than Atman. Temporary, they come and go, based on the three modes of material nature. All of that is other than Atma. If our focus, if our concentration is solely focused on things that are other than Atma, we will not experience, we will not achieve moksha. Focus on Atma. Jivatma, first of all, we are eternal spiritual beings in relationship to Paramatma, the Supreme. So Jivatma to Paramatma. Focus on Atma. Thereafter comes Brahman realization. Text 54. One who is thus transcendentally situated, right? Not focusing on all those things other than Atma. Such a person at once realizes the Supreme and becomes fully joyful. Fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything because his joy is from within, Atma Rama. He is equally disposed toward every living entity, right? He's compassionate. He does not harm other living entities. He is not a pain to other living entities. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. That is the stepping stone to bhakti. That is a foundational stepping stone to bhakti. Brahman realization, where you've realized the Supreme. That is the stepping stone. That's when bhakti, love, begins. Text 55. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by bhakti. And when one is in full consciousness by such bhakti, then they can enter into the kingdom of the Lord. They reside with me. Text 56. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. Text 57. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such bhakti, be fully conscious of me. Text 58. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such bhakti, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through ahankar, ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So, working according to the instructions we find in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you will cross over all obstacles of conditioned life. And we see this very clearly in the Mahabharata, Battle of Kurukshetra, 18 days of brutal fighting. Arjuna passed over all the obstacles and achieved victory. Text 59. If you do not act according to my advice, my direction, and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. Not because I'm saying so. But Krishna is saying if you don't fight, but act not listening to my advice, you'll be falsely directed, not because I'm telling you to, but because, and this is very important, because by your nature, you will engage in warfare. We also see this throughout the entire Mahabharata. The Pandavas, wherever they went, they were getting into fights. Wherever they went. Not that they were going around looking for fights. Everywhere they went, there was some demon causing a disturbance that they had to go and defeat. There was some knucklehead causing a problem. They had to go and deal with that. The Hidimb, Bakasur, the Jayadrat, everywhere they went, they have to, because the Pandavas established dharma. And there are adharmis all over the place. So naturally, everywhere they went, they have the capacity to establish dharma. First, by Yudhishthira telling people to behave, and if not, Bhima and Arjuna hitting them over the head. But they have a duty. They are Kshatriyas. This is what Kshatriyas do. They establish dharma. So Krishna is saying, this is who you are. This is the impetus. This is how your body is made up of the three modes of material nature. It is geared towards warfare. You have to tie the impetus, your swadharma, to the principles of dharma. Because you're going to be engaged in fighting. No matter what you do, your body is geared towards and will respond to situations that require the use of force. The only question is, will you do so according to the principles of dharma? That's all. But if you try to give up fighting altogether, go to the forest, stand on your head, and try to be a yogi, you will be falsely directed, because by your very nature, you're going to fight. Right? The Pandavas spent 13 years in the forest, 12 years in the forest. All they did as they went around protecting the sages of the forest from the various demons by killing off the demons who were causing problems to the sages in the forest. That's what they do. That is their swadharma. So Krishna is saying, you've already done this forest thing. You've lived in the forest for 13 years and you spent every year in there fighting various demons, killing off all these demons. You're going to find yourself in a situation. So stop pretending that you're going to be some yogi and you're going to stand on your head in a cave somewhere. Text 60. Under illusion, ahankar, you are now declining to act by my direction, but compelled by work born of your own nature, your swadharma, you will act all the same. I took the words out of Krishna's mouth. You will act all the same because it is the qualities born of your own nature. Text 61. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. Text 62. O sign of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Text 63. Thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do. In other words, I've given my opinion. You have to choose. All of us, we all have to choose. In Bhakti Yoga, in Vedic spirituality, God does not come down and beat you over the head if you don't do what he tells you to do. That's a different spiritual religious traditions. In the Vedic tradition, Krishna says, these are the facts. This is a reality. You choose. You choose. It's entirely up to you. The reason why choice is necessary is because without choice, there cannot be love. Without choice, there cannot be bhakti. There cannot be a loving relationship. If Krishna says, I'm forcing you to do what I want, I'm forcing you to do what I think you should do, and you must do it no matter what, how can Arjuna possibly choose a loving relationship? He's doing it because if he doesn't, Krishna is going to give him one. That's not love. The highest relationship the Supreme wants to have with the individual Jivatma is a relationship of love. And love requires choice. Text 64. Because you are my very dear friend, right? Friend. Krishna says, Bhakto Sime Sakha. You are my devotee as well as my friend. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Now, this is where Krishna brings it all together. The entire Bhagavad Gita, we're at text 65. He's going to say about 4 or 5 more things, and that's it. So this is the creme de la creme of Krishna's teachings in the Bhagavad Gita. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. It's all bhakti. It's all bhakti. It's nothing but bhakti. Here it is. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. This is what's coming up. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Text 65. What is this most confidential knowledge Krishna is giving? Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you're my very dear friend. Krishna is saying relationship, bhakti. That's it. You have a relationship of bhakti, a relationship of love. I guarantee you, I promise you, I will reciprocate. Text 66. Abandon all dharma. Now, Krishna just spent numerous chapters of the Bhagavad Gita talking about dharma. Abandon all dharma and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Krishna says, Moksha Ishami, Moksha Ishami. I will give you liberation. Abandon dharma, I will give you liberation. But there is a very important caveat. Mam ekam saranam. Mam ekam saranam. Full relationship with me. Sharana means shelter. Full relationship unto me. If you try to act through false ego and think you can do it yourself, carry on, it's perfectly fine. Do that. And you can go through them, and Krishna says you can do that, and you can achieve Brahman realization. You can achieve moksha. You can achieve moksha and have nothing to do with Krishna. Absolutely. Krishna, you just said that. Text 51, text 50 to 53, 54. He just described what needs to be done in order for you to achieve Brahman realization. You don't need Krishna. I'll make this very clear. You do not need Krishna to achieve moksha. But Krishna says, I will give you moksha if you want a loving relationship with me. There's another way of getting moksha, a relationship of bhakti, a relationship of love. But it's up to you. You choose. You do what you wish to do. If you do not want a relationship with me, then follow dharma. Absolutely. Very, very important. No relationship with Krishna, no problem. Follow dharma. Absolutely. That's why Krishna spent 90% of the Bhagavad Gita talking about dharma, not 90, 75% of the Bhagavad Gita talking about dharma, because most people in the world don't want to have a loving relationship with Krishna. That's fine. Krishna is not that type of person, that type of God who says, do what I say, otherwise you will burn. And that's not Krishna's MO. Krishna says, you want moksha, go get it. Follow the principles of dharma, you will attain moksha. I am sitting here on your chariot, you can develop a loving relationship with me, and I will give you moksha. Simple. Krishna goes on to say, text 67, this confidential knowledge that I can give moksha through the relationship of bhakti, through a relationship of love, this confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in bhakti, nor to one who is envious of me. So Krishna knows not everyone is interested in austerity. Not everyone's interested in a relationship with the Supreme, relationship with Krishna. Krishna knows that. So Krishna tells Arjuna, don't share it. Let people walk the path they are supposed to walk. Not everyone is supposed to walk the path of bhakti yoga. Let me rephrase that. Not everyone wants to walk the path of bhakti yoga, and that's okay. We all have the capacity to do so because bhakti, love, is within the heart of every single jivatma. So love is there within all of our hearts. But not everyone, in fact, the vast majority of living entities do not want a relationship with the Supreme. So Krishna says, don't bother them. Don't explain this confidential knowledge that a relationship, a loving relationship with me leads to moksha and more than. Text 68. For one who explains this supreme secret to the bhaktas, bhakti yoga is guaranteed. Bhakti is guaranteed. And at the end, that person will come back to me. This is for me. If I to explain the supreme confidential knowledge to other bhaktas, then I'm hoping Krishna will take me back to him, right? Because I'm explaining this supreme secret to the other bhaktas. For one who explains the supreme secret to the bhaktas, bhakti is guaranteed, and at the end, that person will come back to me. Text 69. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than that person, nor will there ever be one more dear. Look at that. Krishna says there's no person more dear to me than the person who talks about bhakti. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. In the final analysis, Krishna is speaking, includes the Bhagavad Gita with Bhakti Yoga. Text 70, and I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by their intelligence. Text 71, and one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Text 72. O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? Are your ignorance and illusion now dispelled? You've had this entire conversation, 18 chapters. So, what do you think, Arjuna? Arjuna says, text 73, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instructions. Arjuna has to choose this. We all have to choose because that's what love is. Love is choice. Bhakti is choice. So Arjuna has to choose. Krishna is not going to force it. Text 74. Sanjaya said, thus I have heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna. And so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. This is Sanjaya talking to Dhritarashtra. Text 75. By the mercy of Vyasa, Vyasa was Sanjaya's guru. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. Text 76. O king, Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. Text 77. O king, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. Text 78. This is the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, if we go back to the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita, it starts with Dhritarashtra asking a question, right? Dhritarashtra uvacha dharma kshetra kurukshetra samaveta yutsava mamaka pandavaschaiva kima kurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? That was Dhritarashtra's question. His question was, who's going to win this war? What did they do? What are they doing? What's going on? His question was, they are at this place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra. It's a place, it is a holy place. Why? What does does anyone know? The reason why Kurukshetra is a holy place is because King Kuru, right, the forefather, the ancestor of the entire Kuru dynasty, King Kuru went to that place to perform austerities before he became king of the land, of that area. He performed austerities, did a Mahayagya to get the blessings of Narayan so that he would be a righteous king who followed the principles of Dharma. That's why it's called Kurukshetra. It is a place where King Kuru performed austerities and Narayan came and blessed him. Yes, my dear King Kuru, you will rule. I give you the courage, the blessings that you will rule your kingdom according to the principles of Dharma. And your descendants will continue to do so as well. That's why Kurukshetra, the place of Kuru, is called Dharmakshetra, the place of Dharma, because that is where Narayan appeared to King Kuru and said, you will rule with or under the principles of Dharma successfully. So the place of Kurukshetra is called Dharmakshetra. So Dhritarashtra is asking, my dear Sanjaya, this is Dharmakshetra. This is the place where King Kuru came and was blessed by Narayan to rule successfully under the principles of Dharma. The battle is going to happen here. Is there any influence? What is the influence of this Dharmakshetra? What is the influence of this place of pilgrimage that is so, it's a holy place. Kurukshetra is like Vrindavan, Dwarka, Jagannath Puri, right? Vishnu Kanchi, Shiva Kanchi. This is a holy place. Dhritarashtra is asking, what is the effect of this holy place? Dharmakshetra, not just a holy place, Dharmakshetra. Dhritarashtra knows his sons are not men of Dharma. He's worried. What is this Dharmakshetra going to do? What effect will it have on the battle? Will the spirit of Dharma, will it cause Yudhishthira to become renounced and go to the forest and stand on his head, thus allowing my sons to win victory and take over the kingdom? Will that be the effect of this place of pilgrimage, that it awakens Yudhishthira's Dharma? He's called Dharmaraj. It will awaken these feelings of Dharma within Yudhishthira, and he'll go off to the forest, thus not engaging in battle, and we win by default? Or will this area of Dharma, will it invigorate and empower the Pandavas to fight 10 times as hard and thus defeat my sons? What is going to happen here? What is the effect of this Dharmakshetra? That was the original question. We got the entire Bhagavad Gita, and now Sanjaya answers that first question. If Dhritarashtra didn't get the answer yet, he's going to get the answer here in the very last verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna yatra partho dhanurdhara tatra shrirvijayo bhutir dhruvani tirmatir mama. Sanjaya said, wherever there is Krishna, Yogeshwara, Wherever there is Arjuna, Dhanurdhar, there will always be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That's my opinion. In other words, my dear Dhritarashtra, you are going to lose. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishatsu Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Juna Sambhadhe Moksha Sannyasa Yoga Nama Ashtadhasham Adhyaya Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Kurvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamashtumabhidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So next week we're going to talk about Svadharma. Hari Hari. Next Sunday, 8 p.m.